Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Bringing you the news from Sri Lanka and across the world, it's your national news broadcast on Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. I'm Siobhan Pereira.
And I'm Natalia Veeravardhana. First, let's take a look at the headlines for tonight. Varakapula SLTB bus accident injures 35 persons. The President requests all parliamentarians not to misuse people's tax money. A new mobile phone app to submit election complaints. All payments to be made through digital system. 2 youth killed in Devinura shooting incident. The COPE committee once again accuses the National Youth Services Council. One Nilatto complains on hurting of pride of the indigenous community. President Trump withdraws security of prominent opposition figures.
Moving on in your local news, 2 SLTB buses collided, resulting in the injuries of 35 passengers in a road accident in Kegalle, Varakapula on the Colombo-Kandy main road this afternoon. A bus heading to Kandy from Colombo hit an incoming bus in the opposite direction. The injured have been admitted to the Varakapula hospital, and the Varakapula police station is conducting investigations. President Kumara Dissanayake reiterates that all people representatives must ensure that they will not utilize tax money of the general public in an unreasonable manner.
He pointed out that engaging in such activities amounts to a serious discrimination on the people. The President, participating in the budget debate in Parliament yesterday, further said the previous presidents of the country had received the pension of the post of presidency as well as the pension attributed to their parliamentary position as well. President Kumara Dissanayake said that he came to know some things only now. When becoming a president, he will receive a pension provided to an MP. In addition to the presidential salary, he will also receive the MP's pension as well. The president added that he gave a letter today saying that he does not want the MP's pension. They have to start fixing this country, and he actually did not know that he would receive it that way, but he found out later that he would receive it that way. That is why he gave a letter to Parliament saying that he does not want the pension. He added that also when an MP becomes a minister, he or she will receive the MP's salary and the ministerial salary. They have decided that ministers and deputy ministers will only receive the MP's salary. However, ministers will receive a fuel allowance in addition to the MP's salary. He further said they will remove the fuel allowance from the MP's salary. They will also remove the MP's pension. The President's Entitlements Act will also be amended.
A new mobile application has been introduced for submitting complaints regarding the 2025 local government elections. Now, the event was held at the Election Commission this morning. Accordingly, the EDR mobile application has been introduced to submit election complaints through formal and new technological methods. Any complaint relating to violation of election laws could be made through mobile phone app EDR, which is an IT software. Speaking during the event, Election Commissioner Chairman RMAL Ratnayaka said if the public has a complaint, they can now submit it through this app. The person who made the complaint could also find out what happened to their complaint. The new measure immensely facilitates the general public, political parties and monitoring groups. Commissioner General of Elections Saman Sri Ratnayaka said that introduction of this software could be identified as a milestone in the lengthy process of the resolution of election disputes. They had encountered significant problems in the recent past pertaining to not receiving detailed accounts on some of the complaints. There was not a systematic procedure to receive such complaints. there had been many discrepancies encountered by the police department in observing such complaints. The new app could be regarded as a remedial measure in this context. The Commissioner General of Elections further said that they anticipate a free and fair election to the fullest extent. Commissioner Chintak Kularatna said that there are many advantages of the new app. It has videoing as well as photographing facilities. Any untoward incident could be photographed and submitted with relevant details via the app. This could make it easier to identify the location of the incident as well.
Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa announced that Dr. Ruwais Hanifa will be the Samagi Janabalavege candidate for the post of Mayor of Colombo. This was revealed at a special meeting presided over by opposition leader Sajid Premadasa at his office. He said that residents of the Colombo municipal area deserve a highly developed and modern city, and Dr. Hanifa is being presented as a leader capable of delivering that vision. Meanwhile, Sarvajan Balaya has named Hassan Al-Din as its mayoral candidate for the Colombo Municipal Council. The announcement was made during an iftar event held in Dehiwala yesterday by Sarvajan Balaya leader parliamentarian Dilip Jayavira.
More local news. President Andrew Kumar Dissanayake says that in the future, all payments will be made through digital technology. He was participating in the final day of debate of the budget in Parliament yesterday. The expansion of the government's digitalization program enables to receive many facilities on the local as well as on the international level. It was India which had initially entered digitalization activities in the South Asian region. India had been able to provide the digital identification named ADAR to 1.4 billion of its population. This has enabled the country to engage in transactions valued at $2.4 trillion annually via the UPI digital payment system. The aim of the Sri Lankan government is also to speedily direct itself towards a digitalization process. President Andrew Kumar Dissanayake said the government has implemented a multifaceted program to enhance economic revival of those measures that are now bearing fruit. Explaining the future plans to digitalize many sectors related to the economy, the President said the government's aim is to move towards a cashless transaction method. He said that as a first step, the beneficiary scheme related to the President's fund is now operated in a digitalized payment system, providing a greater relief for the beneficiaries. At the same time, the government expects to bridge the gap between the city and the village. Most of the government payments will have to be made under the GovPay digital payment system in the near future. At the same time, the government will also use the digital systems to eradicate various lapses in the system of catering to foreign investors. By using such a scheme, the government aims to eliminate difficulties and various malpractices related to the process of catering to new investors.
The Bank of Ceylon has introduced to its customers yesterday BOC Flex banking service, embarking upon a new chapter in the Sri Lankan digital banking. The bank says this enables customers to engage in their personal financial dealings in a more efficient and secured manner. The ceremony has taken place at the Lotus Tower premises in Colombo. The event was attended by Chief Presidential Advisor on Economic Affairs, Dr. Hans Vijay Surya, Chairman of the Bank of Ceylon, Kavinda de Souza, and General Manager Russell Fonseca. The BOC Flex enables customers to carry out any banking transactions from any location at any time without any obstruction. The service guarantees full security due to self-registration and precautionary logging facilities. Other significant factors of BOC Flex include ability to commence Bank of Ceylon savings and fixed deposits and renewal, as well as to engage in many efficient services.
Heads of business enterprises say the government has been successful in presenting a budget to strengthen the economy amidst challenges in several sectors. They also point out that the measures taken to maintain financial discipline while extending relief are most commendable.
To be able to get on to a positive growth mode, there are a lot of changes that are needed. The digital economy concept is one that will certainly help the government to be able to raise the government revenue and bring about the right disciplines into the system where the revenue collection can be done more accurately. That will also help the government to be able to widen the tax net, widening the tax net, which has been a major issue as far as our history goes. So that being one significant proposal presented by the government, I guess we as entrepreneurs, business leaders, and citizens of this country, we have an obligation to ensure that we embrace this new concept and be a part of this digital economic journey, which will certainly bring about a lot of positives. In terms of the targeted GDP growth, we see the government trying to achieve 5% GDP growth, which sounds very realistic, while we have had much greater growth rates over the past several decades. From where we were 2-3 years ago to targeting to achieve 5% growth is certainly something that Sri Lanka needs to chase if Sri Lanka is to keep growing.
We move into a short break and we'll bring you more news on the local stories right after this.
Prima Kutumi, Pantamai.
Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
And now on more local stories, the United Nations Office for Project Services assures to provide assistance continuously for the development of physical resources in the local health service. The pledge has been extended by Director of the Asian Zone of the Office, Charles Callanan, to Minister of Health, Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa. The meeting has taken place at the Ministry of Health and Mass Media. A detailed discussion was conducted with an analysis on the project to be implemented, focusing attention on health development projects. It has dealt extensively on preliminary issues such as preparations of plans. Dr. Charles Callanan has appreciated the efforts of the present government to realize the appreciations of the general public. He has pledged to constantly extend the services needed by the Health Ministry to fulfill the health requirements of the people. Director of the South Asian Region Office of the United Nations has strongly commended the proposed program to set up 1,000 primary health centers centering on locations where the people would be able to reach without difficulty.
And now some disturbing news. The police has arrested 3 suspects, including a woman, in connection with shooting to death of 2 youth on the Devinura Singhasana Road in Matara last night. The 2 unidentified gunmen who had arrived in a van opened fire on 2 youth riding a motorcycle around 11:45 p.m. The assailants were armed with a T-56 rifle and 2 9mm firearms before fleeing the scene. The victims, both residents of the area, were returning home from a birthday party in Kapugampura when they were ambushed by a group of attackers travelling in a van. At the same time, at the scene, police recovered 39 T-56 bullet casings, 2 live rounds, 2 9mm bullet casings and 2 live 9mm bullets. A van believed to have been used by the assailants were found burned out on a side road about 800 meters from the shooting site. Inside the vehicle, police discovered a T-56 magazine and additional bullet casing. The police further says that the magazine used in T-56 firearms and several more bullet casings were found in the van. The deceased were aged 28 and 29 and residents of Singhasana Road, Devinura. The scene of shooting has come under inspection of the Matara Additional Magistrate. Police said several police teams are investigating to arrest the suspects and to determine the motive behind the shooting. The World Water Day falls today.
The United Nations has declared 22nd of March as the World Water Day. The theme of this year's commemoration is safeguarding of glaciers. There is a higher tendency of the melting of glacier mountain ranges as a result of burning of higher quantities of fossil fuel in the industrialization process. An increase in the environment temperature has also been created due to emission of extremely large quantities of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. This is the result of the excessive consumer lifestyles of the world community. The ultimate consequences of such calamities is the rising of sea levels, creating the threat of small islands submerging in water. As a result, it has become a strong challenge to protect and conserve water resource in the face of globalization and human activities pertaining to rapid urbanization. A special attention has focused on saving glaciers, paving the way for an open dialogue to face future challenges on water resource, utilizing modern technology and knowledge. The Prime Minister made these remarks yesterday while participating in the World Water Day event organized by the National Water Supply and Drainage Board at the Kegalle Training Centre of the board in Borupana. The meeting has coincided with the commemoration of the 50th anniversary of the Water Supply and Drainage Board. During the event, a special website designed to facilitate water supply services was officially launched under the patronage of the Prime Minister. Awards and certificates were presented to students who won the island-wide school drama and essay competition, which was organized in line with World Water Day, and commendations and medals were awarded to professional staff members of the Water Supply and Drainage Board.
The COPE committee has notified once again to hand them over the annual reports and the account statements of the National Youth Services Council and the National Youth Services Private Company. Criticism has been levelled at yesterday's COPE subcommittee meeting over not fulfilling the requests on several occasions to hand over the relevant reports of these institutes. The COPE committee inquired the officials of the National Youth Services Council and the National Youth Services Private Limited as to why the relevant reports were not submitted on time. The officials were not able to provide a proper reason for the delay. The subcommittee clearly stipulates that it will go to the end to resolve the issue. The COPE rejects the reply given with disregard to the 1.3 issue. It was not a correct and comprehensive report. The committee feels that this was an attempt to misguide the procedure. Therefore, they will have to provide the correct version of the report. Only 2 weeks' time will be given to do so.
Meanwhile, our correspondent says Hirivaduna village in Habarana has been able to secure higher foreign tourists attraction. Residents say around 300 to 400 tourists arrive at the village daily. Tourists from countries such as France, Germany, India, Japan and Russia are visiting the village to watch the rural environment, which depicts Sri Lanka's enchanting village background. Necessary facilities have been made for the tourists to feel the taste of food prepared in local kitchens. The Hirivaduna lake has also become another source of attraction to foreign visitors.
Head of the Indigenous community, Uruwarige Vanilatto, has submitted a complaint to the Criminal Investigation Department, Colombo, today in connection with a program on a YouTube channel which defamed the Indigenous people. Vanilatto has stated that the program had violated the rights of the Indigenous people. He has also pointed out that the production of programs without having a knowledge on the culture of the Indigenous community had caused immense concern in the ethnic community. He calls upon the responsible authorities to implement the law against the culprits. We have your foreign news coming up on the other side. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere.
Prima Kutumi, Fantamai.
Welcome back, and we are ready with the foreign news for you tonight. US President Donald Trump has revoked security clearances from his previously defeated Democratic election rivals Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton, as well as a number of other top former officials. The move comes after Trump said in February he was revoking security clearance for his predecessor Joe Biden. He confirmed that move in the latest announcement, adding that he was also revoking the security clearance of any other member of the Biden family. The president said that he had determined that it is no longer in the national interest for the following individuals to access classified information. Former US presidents and top security officials usually keep their security clearance as a courtesy. Former Secretary of State Antony Blinken and former Republican lawmakers Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger were also on the list of those who lost their security clearances.
British athlete Jeremy Azu has been successful in winning the 60 meters men's racing event in the World Indoor Athletic Championship tournament in Nanjing, China. Competition to select the fastest runner was held last evening, and winner Jeremy Azu finished the event with 6.49 seconds. This was the fastest recorded time in his sporting